right, boys and girls, so when the right side of your sun is dry, probably the next week, you're going to paint your moon face. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue violet here and wash the brush. If you're going to mix the colors, you're going to wash the brush. I'm going to add some white to make it like a nice lavender. Now, keep in mind that even though this is lavender, later on, I'm going to show you, we have to keep everything clean so that you can have nice clean white for next week. So that's why you always want to have your paper towel. Get a fresh paper towel here, okay? So for your moon, you want to use a cool color. And I basically took the blue violet and added white, and I made a nice lavender. And I'm actually going to rotate the painting. When you mix your color, you want to make sure here that you have enough that you're going to be able to use. And again, what I'm doing is I'm leaning on the painting with my pinky on the right hand to get that nice curved line, because you really want to make sure that you get a nice even distribution of color. And the way that you can make your color go even, get even more coverage, is by adding water. And eventually you might be able to add, just to take some from that white paint palette there. So you want to, again, paint in the same direction, not have too much water, okay? And because then it'll bleed onto the other side. But if it does bleed onto the other side, then you can always take your paper towel or wipe and blot it. But the main thing is you want to have a nice even distribution. And you also don't want the moon face to be too dark, because you want to be able to see it. So if you want to use the light blue, or if you want to, you can use the light blue just with adding water to maybe make that color. But I wouldn't use the blue violet directly, because then it will be too dark and you won't be able to see the face of the moon. So what I decided for my color scheme, and I see actually that it's bled a little bit over there. I guess the yellow was still a little bit wet, or maybe there was too much water and it went to the other side. So I'm going to show you what you can do for that. You could just blot it. Or if that doesn't work, you could take some water and kind of like do a quick erase. And then later on, you can fix it. Always have your paper towel or wipe with you, because you might need to dry your brush really quickly. You also want to make sure you have background paper available underneath, so you don't get your desk or your table dirty. And it looks like I made just enough to cover the moon face here. I'm going to use a little bit more from the white palette there. And again, rotate your painting. Make sure you have a nice even coverage. You can see I'm going in the direction of the curved line here. And you saw what happened before by where the sun met the moon. I actually crossed over to the other side, and I used my dry paper towel to blot it, but it was already too dry. So what you might have noticed, one of the things that I did is I wet the paper towel, and it almost makes it like a quick eraser. So you could kind of like erase it, as long as you're doing it within the time span that you're painting. Like, it won't work like a week later or the next day, but the day of, while you're painting, it'll work. Like I see here, of course, I'm a little perfectionist here, that there's a little bit of a bleeding thing. So I just wet my paper towel. There. I erased it a little bit. Make sure your brush isn't that wet. And there you have your moon. So when you're done with your moon, most likely your the right side of the sun is going to be dry, and you can finish painting the sky of the sun. And make sure you wash thoroughly. I'm actually going to do it a sky blue. And I'm going to paint my other side here in magenta. And I'm going to paint the mouth a red. So I will show that to you in fast forward now.